Hi, everybody. We are waiting for a few minutes to let the people come in and then we'll start. So, all right. So, this is our second Insta Live, and in our previous Insta Live, we have got an overwhelming response from all our consumers. Thank you for staying with us. And there was few of the questions previously as to what Upcycle Lux is all about and what exactly is the platform looks like. So, guys, we are coming really, really soon. Right now, we are introducing all of our brands whom we have got partnered with and showcasing their beautiful work in front of you. And then you'll be able to shop these all the designs on our platform. So, I'll give you a short review of what Upcycle Lux is all about. Upcycle Lux is an ethical e commerce fashion tech platform where green is the new luxury. So, driven by the motto, we only partner with brands that actually share ethos with us and bring sustainable values to our supply chain. We strictly believe in authenticity, so the brands that are either certified or practice transparency in their supply chain are the ones who we get partner with. Also, UN SDGs are one thing which we are also focusing on in building up this community of sustainability and making the entire community to move forward in the fashion industry. So, Upcycle Lux, soon you'll be seeing a lot of designs onto it, beautiful creations by homegrown labels, domestic as well as international. So that's what Upcycle Lux all about. Stay tuned with us. So today we have collaborated with brand Ampersand, which is a beautiful brand, and they have curated all their styles beautifully. So I'll do a little bit of introduction about what exactly is all about, and what their ethos are. So Ampersand is a label designed for women who don't let trends influence their style. As a brand, they primarily work with fabrics crafted on the handloom that are further embellished with hand embroideries and customized block prints. They are the pioneers of establishing a balance between artistic and artisanal work with the idea of blending glamour to ethical and sustainable design. So today we have Miss Priyanka Mehra, who is the face behind Ampersand. She'll be telling us about what was her journey about the entire sustainable supply chain and how Ampersand came into existence. So let's get connected with her and then see what her reviews are.
Hi,
Hi,
Harshita.
Priyansha. How are
How
you?
are you?
Very well. How
Yeah,
have you been?
all well, yeah. At my mom's place.
Very nice. So we have discussed about how beautifully you have curated Ampersand and then the entire ideology of women entrepreneurship and of course like supporting women workers and fair trade. So we would like to know about a lot more things about what Ampersand is and your journey being a women entrepreneur and what were the challenges, the hindrances you faced in your entire journey, and how old was Ampersand when you actually thought of bringing yourself into the fashion industry and then getting involved with the sustainability channels. So now
Okay,
we're gonna hear you now.
great.
All goes to you.
Cool. So I started Ampersand in 2017. It was November. So we've completed 3 years of Ampersand.
Congratulations.
Yeah, thanks. So
Yeah,
it was my birthday when we took out the first shipment. So
all
yeah,
right.
yeah. So we started it on the November, and before that, I was working. I was working for Lee Cooper, and then I was working for Forever New. So yes, I have an experience of the fashion industry. I'm a pass out from NIFT, etc., etc. So when I was working with these brands, I realized that while you're working, you do not understand the kind of impact that we are creating with the
Correct.
production that we are doing, with the kind of stuff that we are making. It's only when you start researching is that you realize the amount of negative environmental and social impact that the products are creating, that
Yeah.
you are a part of it. So with Ampersand, I thought that it's an opportunity for me to actually bring about a change in this in
Mm-hmm.
my own way with a little contribution. So yes, so Ampersand was started with that thought in mind, and what we wanted to do was to bring the Indian, to make the world aware of the Indian ethos, but not in a
Yeah.
very typical Indian way. And that's how the name Ampersand came about. So it's a
Correct.
marriage between the Indian ethos and the Western sensibilities.
Contemporary styles, the artisanal values actually, the kind
Yes.
of weaving you've been doing on your garments. I have seen your garments. It is so beautifully riven, and
Thank you.
even I have like wore it. One I
Yeah.
have also wore it for my Diwali occasion, and I feel so complete after wearing those garments because the fabric in itself speaks about the cause which you are into. Of course, there is a social cause, but then there is a style and innovation also at the back end where
Yeah.
you are curating design and style with innovative fabrics and of course the values of the planet, maintaining the purpose and the profits in sync and in
In
balance. So, I mean,
yeah.
I also wanted to understand, like, what all challenges have you faced while, since because we have hit the pandemic already, and how was the work life then? Because you were not connected with the artisans and the weavers out there, and what were the areas where you were working, and where exactly are you based out of, and then how have you like managed them all in this like good span of 3 years, and especially in the pandemic times?
So I am I'm basically from Delhi, but now I'm in Guwahati. So we're working with weavers in Guwahati, and we're working with weavers in West Bengal as well.
Yeah,
So a lot of our fabrics are actually sourced from West Bengal and also from Rajasthan. So we use a lot of
hmm,
kota, so which comes in from Rajasthan, and
yeah,
we use a lot of chanderi. So even that comes in from Rajasthan, and a lot of self-textured silks that we use. They are all sourced from the weavers in West Bengal. So that
yeah,
is so we make sure that the fabrics that we're using are procured directly from the weavers instead of buying it from the middlemen, and that
yeah,
ways we are ensuring that it's pure. So whatever we are buying, um, it is, I mean, there's a guarantee that yes, what we are using is not adulterated, it's not
yeah,
like somebody telling me कि ये handloom hai, and then eventually it's not handloom and it's something else only. So that
yeah,
is when we directly go to the weavers to purchase our stuff, to
hmm,
get it from them.
yeah,
And Yeah, so and during the pandemic, we really had a low because, but I think that was with everybody, you know,
Of
businesses really
course,
had
of course.
that.
The entire fashion industry has like hit really bad. And
Yeah,
then how people, and of course, like people has maintained themselves to sustain them, at least be there, be in the market. A lot
yeah,
of startups are already closed. They're shut down. At least we have like just managed to come up through and then
yeah.
maintain our entire small communities and then move forward accordingly.
Yeah. But the good thing with Ampersand was that we took it slow. And we did not really we knew that this is a problem that everybody's facing. So we really
Yeah,
did not rush with anything. We
yeah,
took it at our own pace, and now thankfully the markets opened up. People are buying stuff. So, and
correct.
in fact, it's better than. So when you compare on a year on year, I think we were doing much better than what we were doing last October, November.
All
So I
right.
think it's just a pent up buying uh, a
The entire
sentiment.
mind game has changed. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So they just
Sentiment
want
of
to
the
bring
consumer
stock
has changed.
types, you know. So
Yeah.
yes.
So, how was your response, especially in India? I wanted to know because the concept of sustainability, what we were earlier also discussing on a call that the concept is not new actually of sustainability in India.
Yeah.
But then the word, of course, which we are already speaking about, sustainable, ethical, which people do not know, our consumers don't know about it. It was always there in our histories, and it is being come down to us. Like, and we have never done a lot of wastage when it comes to like
True.
actually reusing. We have been doing that forever. I think we have seen our moms doing it.
Yeah.
We have seen our elder sisters doing it, even our brothers doing it.
True.
So, what kind of a response when it comes to sustainable garments have you seen in our domestic market versus the international market?
Okay, so I feel personally with Ampersand, we've realized that the acceptance of sustainability, the concept of sustainability or slow fashion is only limited to with the interactions that I've had, of course.
Yeah,
Is There is only a certain section that is more aware compared to a lot of people who do not even understand why a certain garment or a certain piece is priced at an X amount, and
yeah,
they will consciously compare. And when it comes to fashion, they'll compare you to like an H&M or a Zara, and they'll tell you, "वो तो इतना सस्ता है. Why is it that you're retailing at an X price?" So, but then
yeah,
as customers or as brands, we also need to educate our customers that there is a reason it's priced at an X amount, which is not a lot higher compared to what a Zara is selling. So, for example, a Zara would be retailing a dress at say a 5,000. I'm just giving an example, and we would be retailing a dress at say a 5,500 or 5,900. So, there is a price difference. I wouldn't deny that. But then there is a reason that there is a price difference. And it's not like it's a 10x price difference. So
yeah.
there, I think we need to take that, we need to ensure that the customer understands that why there is a certain price difference, and why is it that they should pay for it, because there are so many people who are uh, and we're not cutting people's wages, or we're not cutting what they like for artisans, we're paying artisans what they want. It's not like we're bargaining with them, or it's, I mean, so the back end is completely it's sorted. It's not like an H&M that we are paying minimal salaries and getting productions done, you know.
Of
So
course,
all of
yes.
that, I think, yeah. And then the fabrics that we use are different. It's
Yeah.
more it's more sustainable again, you know.
The
It's very conscious.
certified, the certified,
They're certain.
the garment
Yeah,
is certified, and then you also acknowledge fair trade, and then the entire
yeah,
process which goes around into the supply chain. You work on it. I'm sure. I mean, you have also mentioned that fair trade is something which you are also getting certified with, and then
yeah,
when we are talking about so the salaries, the minimum salaries which you actually give to to your workers is way more higher than what is being given to a
yeah,
fast fashion brand, and
yeah.
that's when the entire this cost culminates into a particular garment because
True.
because these garments are not mass produced,
Exactly.
basically. Either they are made to order, or
Yeah.
they are on a smaller quantity which is being done. So eventually the cost, the markups, of course, the rises up, and then there is a cost
Yeah.
differences. But behind that, the cost is, of course, is there, but then the values which is being put up. So sustainability, I feel, comes from the design, and not exactly what fabric are you using and what kind
Yeah.
of trims you are using, and then what. But if at all you have designed a particular garment in such a way, the end use is something which is either circular or
Hmm.
either it is reused. The consumer should know about it. So
Yes.
that's where the entire sustainability process come into the picture, and then consumers understand, yes, this is what sustainability
Worth
is.
the money, you know.
Money, yes. So these days I feel that that is the reason why homegrown labels we tend to get resonated well, because they put a lot of inputs into the design ethics, as well as the entire supply chain. A lot of intricacies are there into it, and of course the indulgence are also there.
Yeah.
So, on that note, I would also like to understand that, since because there is a lot of like conversation happening about UN SDGs, that if you tell you're a sustainable brand, then you should be, and you be, it should be, it is better that you are experiencing UN SDGs as well, and then culminating that into your supply chain. How has that affected you in your business?
So, okay, so I feel fashion as an industry itself is so polluting that I think as brands and as designers, we need to take up a little ownership of what we're doing. And I
Yeah,
think here the entire UN SDGs actually help you understand that what are the different parameters that you can work on and improve your product, your supply chain, so that you have a positive overall impact on the environment and the society. So
of
it's more
course.
like a framework that helps
Yeah,
us, that guides us, you know, through our
yeah,
journey. Because
yeah.
when you're doing business, you lost in so many other aspects that you sometimes tend to miss. So it's more like a checklist, you know, that yeah, I'm
Hmm.
doing this, I'm doing this. So yeah, I think that it helps that ways. So it becomes a,
Yeah.
yeah, that's what I feel. So it becomes like a good checklist. Yeah, you're going back to it. Huh, theek hai, this is fine, this is fine. So yeah.
Yeah, of course. Like UN SDGs are important, of course. I mean, since because there is a lot of greenwashing which is happening in fashion
True.
industry. Even when we were, searching for brands, and then in our initial days, we wanted like actually see how the market is of sustainability actually looks like, and then how actually brands are experiencing those into their supply chain, and then how actually is one garment called sustainable. So that time, when we came across that there were brands who were just talking about being green, but then there were no values to it, and but then they were, one best part was they were keen on becoming a sustainable brand. I mean, even if at all they don't know how to become like one, so they have also asked us that, we would like to, you can assist us, and then we can just get the entire. So this is something which is there in the market and in majority. It's not like there is a small portion to it. It is a big market where most of the brands are greenwashing, and then so in this case, consumers should be more aware about the certification, the fair trade part of it. They should research first, go through their entire website, how the brands are talking about what their values are, their entire transparencies of the supply chain is. So then only the brands will understand what exactly is greenwashing. So
Yeah.
we are also kind of collaborating with brands who believe in sustainable supply chain, transparent, of course, and they also wanted to eliminate greenwashing from the fashion industry, as we already were there in our fashion industries, and then we know the reality. We have
Yeah.
seen it, done it, and then came out of it now into this channel where we are building up something really new. So, I mean, and well, what were the challenges I feel that you have faced in curating the collection, or maybe you can talk about the collection which we have already beautifully put up together, and what were the challenges you have faced up in curating them, and then how has those thought process come into picture from your design perspective as a fashion designer?
So I think when you're designing a collection, I mean, personally, I feel you need to cut down on your creativity to make it commercial. You know, you cannot just go all about being
Yeah,
creative because
of
eventually
course.
I think it doesn't sell, there are. So, for example, the first collection that we did, I mean, Harshita, it completely bombed. Okay. Like for me, I thought it was like the best thing that I've done. But then it's a learning curve. So eventually you learn what things work in the market, what don't do well. And then you start understanding the sentiment, what people like, and then you start modulating your designs, you start tweaking it, and eventually you have to come out with a product that resonates with you but also the customer enjoys buying it.
Yeah.
So and I think it is something that actually happens over a period of time. So
Hmm.
yes, so that was like the major challenge that we had. And yeah, and besides this, I think it was also sticking to or adhering to being sustainable. That was the second challenge that we faced. Getting a supply chain right, getting the right people to work with, because there's so many people out there who actually uh, they would, like how you said, greenwashing, they would claim to be a certain thing but then they're not, and
Yeah.
then you realize nahi, this is not working for me. So there's a lot of hidden trials that you have to do, and eventually everything, it starts falling in place. So I think that
Yeah,
was the
I mean,
challenges.
yeah, in my previous, like, few of the DMs also we have got from our consumers, they're asking that why are these brands actually claiming to be green when they are not green? Because, consumers don't know even that why do one brand will say that, they want to be green just to sell their product. That's because I feel that consumers tend to, since because we are into that organic zone, we are consuming organic food, we are applying those DIYs in at home, which is made at home. So that has been coming into the picture, and then that is why the brands are also calling themselves as they are organic, they are sustainable, even if because that resonates with the consumers, and consumers tends to buy those products.
Yeah.
But just not seeing the like the outer portions of it, getting insides out of it, that's more important, I feel.
And I think that is something that will come with an awareness that I think as brand owners and as people in the fashion industry, we should try and create, if we're genuinely sustainable, if we're genuinely clean, I think we should try and promote that aspect. We should try and
Of course.
put that message across to the customer about the transparency, about the traceability, where are we
Yeah.
coming from, who are the people behind it,
Yeah.
so that it is genuine, so that it looks, so that the customer knows, yes, what they're paying for is actually genuine.
Yeah.
It's not something that a brand is faking. So
Hmm.
yes.
Also, one thing that since because the entire industry is talking about being sustainable and ethical, don't you feel that brands are becoming too preachy about sustainability and when it comes to like selling their products, and how one should like cut that short, that not being preachy, and then you should just talk about the garments? I mean, we wanted to understand how one brand, from the brand's perspective, how you can cut short on becoming preachy about your sustainable aspects.
So, what I feel is, okay, now, like even for Ampersand, so I feel when somebody is buying a product, they are actually not making a, I think we've discussed this earlier as well. They're not
Yeah.
making a purchase based on how ethical the brand is. That is a secondary thought that comes to a customer's mind. What they are buying the product is for how it looks, for how it look on them, for how it look perhaps in their house, if they're buying
Yes.
something related to a home decor. So, and then, as brands, uh, we should try and communicate the aspect of sustainability in an interesting way, so that does not bore the consumer, and yeah, that they're excited to know the stuff that's going behind it rather than just it being a part of a label and finally ending up in a bin, you know. So it needs to be
Yeah.
more inclusive, is yes, is something that I feel. So yeah, that's what I feel. How sustainability can be promoted. You know, one is that the product needs to, because finally they're making a purchase, they're shelling out their money for something that needs to look good, that
Yeah.
resonates
Yeah.
with them. You know, so yes,
Yeah.
and then definitely the sustainability
Yeah.
aspect is an
We have
add-on.
also, yeah, so we have done our research like in four cities, that was Bangalore, Delhi, Mumbai, and Hyderabad, wherein we talked to millennial groups and understood what their ideologies and understanding about sustainable garments or maybe organic fabrics, such. So what we came to understand that there were approximately 80% of the people, of course, in the millennial group, they know about what sustainability is, but then they don't know how brands are and which brands are sustainable. You know, they want to buy the product. Only hindrances were that they were too expensive to explore, and there was a lot of like thinking in terms of these millennial groups that um, are these products even value for money or not. So now the millennial groups are understanding that it is processing in the industry as well, the entire channel. But yeah, I mean, it's gonna take a little more time to yeah, come into the industry, especially in the Indian market. We've been getting great responses from the international market already. They know about what sustainable measures is. But talking about the preachiness about us being sustainable, I feel the consumers tend not to see the tags of a garment. They have never seen. And then people have not put any kind of information, valid information, apart from the prices or maybe where it is manufactured. So the technology in this perspective is gonna come into existence, and then people, since because pandemic times and everybody is using technology, have everybody has become digitalized. So I feel this is gonna take a next level green technology, wherein now I've seen the tags with scanners are there, QR codes where you can just scan them and all the information is there on your mobile application, and then whatnot is there. So the information, now brands are also understanding that this is important for them as well as for the environment. It is just not being selfish that, you know, I am liking this garment, I'm not worried about the environment. So it's gonna go in a balanced way out. I'm
Yeah.
sure about it. And the collection which Ampersand has made, I mean, so such a beautiful curation. Do you want to like speak about that? How the entire collection came into existence? Why have you named the collection this? I would like you to tell
Yeah.
about
Okay,
that to
so
our
our
audience.
collections are based on, so we try and take inspiration from Indian handicrafts. So, for example, we would have a collection that's taken inspiration from the Fulkari, or we would have an collection that's taken inspiration from the Jamdani weaves, you know. So this collection we got inspired by the Patola weaves that happen in Gujarat, and we took motifs from Patola. So they're all very geometric, and we tried to incorporate those into our garments. And we picked
Hmm.
colors that are predominant in Patola. So, for example, a blue is a very strong color when it comes to Patola. So we used that in our collection, and we named our
Yeah.
collection the Patola Parrot. Yeah, so that is the inspiration for the latest collection that you'd be seeing on your website very soon.
Yeah.
And
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, we are looking forward, and of course, the consumers are also looking forward to for the launch too, and they want the garment as soon as possible and want to explore the entire collection. I was driven when I saw the pictures out there. I was like, this is wow. The pictures has come out really beautiful. The garments are really beautiful. Even the textures are, the quality was actually very beautiful. So, do you want like advice for consumers about sustainability, or maybe our women entrepreneurs who wants to start up something in their sustainable channel, or maybe what kind of measures they should consider while creating a sustainable brand, or even like starting from the starting till the end, what they have to like keep in their mind, uh, if at all you have something to tell and share to our audience.
Of my experience, I feel while starting while starting any business, it's like having a baby. You really have to put in a lot of efforts in the first 2 years, and
Yeah,
then by the third year, eventually you start reaping fruits of all the hard work that you've done. So one has to be really patient. One has
yeah,
to, you need to decide what is the focus. Is it just doing business and creating stuff and just making stuff and selling it, or is it about creating something and making a difference? So that
yeah.
needs to be very clear.
Hmm.
And yeah, and I think I actually do not know of any business that started doing well in the first year itself. So there are always those teething problems that happen. You learn on your way, which is a journey. And yeah, I think
Yeah,
one has to be really patient. So I think patience is the key. I mean, there
yeah.
would be times where you would want to just give up and you would be like, why am I even doing this? It's not
Mhm.
getting me anything. But then you just
Yeah,
have to stick around, wait for some time, and see it eventually flourishes. So yeah,
yeah.
I think that's
Yeah,
the
I
key.
mean, of course, I mean, the first few years are something where you are also exploring as a business
Yeah,
and figuring out things as to what is working for you and what not. Few things are there which might be working for other brands or other businesses. Some
yeah,
things are not workable for you. So there are always hit and tries which happen, and you have to see the right point where you have to just plug in, and then it will just get started, and there will be sound to it.
true.
So, I mean, on that note, I think thank you so much for your beautiful introduction of the brand and your journey, especially as a women entrepreneur, and the challenges which you have faced. I feel we are gonna make, of course, Ampersand is gonna make a lot of difference in the sustainable fashion industry, and of course, we're gonna get boomed, and the entire fashion industry tends to know about the dirt which we are creating into the landfills and cut them short and then put it forward. So thank you so much for joining us, Priyansha,
Thank
and
you for
looking
having.
forward to more collaboration and more collection of yours on the website. We're gonna come really soon, and thanks for sharing the platform with us.
Thank
Thank you
you.
so much.
Thank you so much. Thanks for that.
Bye.
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 Take care.